All right. Hello, Jack. How are you?
I'm doing well out here in Virginia, just hanging out.
So what have you been up to here during quarantine?
Um, Been a lot of time spending with the family and friends, and just a lot of training on my own, kind of getting my mind right, and about to move up to New York here in a bit.
That'll be a little different, right?
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm gonna be living in Hoboken and sometimes training with the Columbia team, sometimes training on my own. Gonna get a really good international exposure. Gonna be flying to Russia, Iran, Turkey, all those different European countries, and hopefully one day make an Olympic team, world team, and try and be the best version of myself.
That'd be awesome. How with COVID-19, how does that affect your training? Has that been tough?
Kind of, but like at the same time, it's been a nice little break. Right after my college career kind of abruptly ended, it stinks for sure that that's the way I went out. But I mean, on the bright side, I've gotten to rest my body, rest my mind. I mean, I spent the most time I've spent at home since I've been in college. I never spent more than 10 days since I entered the university. And the past month and a half, I was back in Texas with my parents. And so that was really good for them and for me, honestly. Got to spend time with the nephews, the nieces, mom, dad, brothers.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's kind of been the one blessing about this whole thing is like, this is time with my kids I would have never had. I would have been traveling with different teams to
Yeah,
different things. So this has been cool. I'm actually in my son's room right
yeah,
now.
no
This
doubt.
is this is my 7-year-old's room. He's all decked out in Virginia here, so it's the best backdrop in the house.
Oh yeah, that's sweet. I like the V saber in the background for sure.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to this. This is fun. I was we talked about like must see TV for people to watch, and I always said when your matches came up, it was much must see action. So they're always fun to watch, and
Thank you.
yeah, it had to be quick too.
Yeah.
You got those matches done quickly sometimes. So
Yeah, no, when I especially in MEM, I always Travis Paulson, our assistant, was always like, lead from the front, Jack, lead from the front, get us started off hot. And so, I mean, he'd always say some motivational stuff. And then how do you not try and lose your left leg for freaking a guy like Coach Garland, I
yeah,
want to freaking bang my head against the wall every time I wrestle for him.
no, we'll talk about him here in a minute. So let me share my screen and we'll get
Yeah,
started. All right.
no doubt.
All right, these are in no particular order, but I just thought this was kind of a cool shot from up in the catwalk. This is you getting ready before the match at JPJ. Just talk a little bit about that, the pre-match preparation, and kind of how do you get focused in?
Yeah, so this is me. I usually do a little bit this is called stance in motion. And, I just try and get in my own head. Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to, how am I going to relax and stay composed? So I always like to think of it as relaxed, but also aggressive. I don't want to be too aggressive, but I don't want to be too relaxed. How do I find that middle ground? Our sports psychologist Doc Freeman talks about it a lot. It's a reverse parabola, and you want to be right in the middle, right at the top. And so I try and get in my own head. I listen to music and I try and imagine myself doing different moves, just going through my head and how the match is going to play out. Because wrestling's like a chess match. So I'm playing chess right now, thinking about what I'm going to do. What if he does this? Okay, I'm going to do this. I like to be in the heads of my opponents, but also clearing my own head at the same time.
Awesome. What's on the Jack Mueller playlist?
Oh, it depends. So sometimes it's heavy rap and sometimes it's nice and easy 70s music. I have two different playlists, and one's super chill and one's super heavy. If I'm feeling too relaxed, then I'll listen to the heavy playlist. If I'm feeling too intense, too tight, then I listen to the relaxed playlist. So I try and find that middle ground. If I'm in the middle, I don't listen to any music at all. So it just depends on how I'm feeling.
So we'll go to this here since we're above ground. We'll go to the aerial shot during the tech match here. So I wanted to get this shot with the whole mat, with kind of capture the scene. But then that's the tricky
Hmm.
part. I wanted you on the mat, but then I was like, man, like we talked about, you go quick. So I wanted to get
Yeah.
down there. So this shot right here was taken at 8:03. So, and then let's find where's the one at here. This shot was taken at 8:05.
This is the best shot ever.
Yeah.
I love this shot. Yeah, I mean, as what other picture are you gonna find of a UVA guy just standing over a tech guy saying some not nice things, you know? I won't say what I said, but I was screaming in his face a little bit, like, "We're here, man. We're here."
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was
I've
a
never moved
blast.
that quick. Like to get from the catwalk down there in 2 minutes is pretty impressive for me.
Yeah, no doubt, for sure.
But yeah,
That one was a good
this whole
one.
sequence was great. Like the video of this is phenomenal. So
Mhm. Yeah, I lost my mind a little bit. I mean, I wrestled him over there, and so I have some bad blood. And honestly, that guy I really like. I like Joey a lot, but just the fact that it was UVA Tech and how bad I wrestled my junior year compared to this year, it was just a big like load off. And I wanted to get my guys fired up for sure because I felt like this was the year to beat them.
yeah, this is one of my. We talked about Garland. Like this is one of my favorite shots right here. This talk about,
Yeah.
like you said, you would run through a wall for him. Just kind of talk about him and what he means to you personally and the program.
I mean, without Steve Garland, there's no real UVA wrestling. The guy's the life of the program. He's not full of crap. I feel a lot of wrestling coaches are kind of like almost liars in what they promise, and anything Garland says, he means it. And um, I mean, integrity, honest, like anything you think of, it's like that's good. It's Steve Garland, you know. Just a high character guy, and he's been a mentor to me since I stepped on grounds. You know.
Yeah, this one to me, this was after your senior day match. Like talk about getting the onions, a
Yeah.
little misty eyed, and as this
Yeah. No,
happened.
he cried. I cried too after, but yeah. I mean, I never lost in Mem. I always enjoyed being in front of a home crowd, even though it was a small gym. You know, I always felt like having hundreds of people, you know, rooting for me. I felt unstoppable in there. And yeah, I think there was only like one or two times where I didn't get bonus in there either. So I always performed, and you know, a lot of it's got to do with Coach Garland.
Just talk about a little bit about that, how tight it is, and how the fans are right there. Just it's always fun. It gets loud, and
Yeah, no, it does. It does get loud for sure, and especially the last couple years, we've had some guys on the bench that have really been hostile and will scream stalling, get in the ref's ear, you know, and it's not like a super chill environment. I think that a lot of times people don't know what to expect in a wrestling match, especially at UVA. And I think our guys that are not competing that day, they do a great job of making it hostile, making it fun for a fan, making it fun for us. You know, if I hear someone saying, "Oh, Jack, you've got this," or something, you know, I'm like, "Yeah, I got this," like for sure. I remember my first year, my roommate Michael Murphy, like I was going down on someone and I think it was tight, and I like looked over and I saw him and he goes, and I ended up like teching the kid, like dropped like 10 points like right away. You know, just having my brothers in the background, it felt really good, and they're super loud and I can hear them really well.
so this is right after you won your last match. You said you went undefeated at Mim. Just kind of talk about this moment. What was kind of going through your head then?
Like holy crap, you know, like I'm never gonna wrestle on this mat again. Uh, I just wanted to feel it one last time, you know. I felt unstoppable there for sure. I always thought in my head it was like it was my house. It was the house that Jack built. That was kind of my mindset when I went in there. And sure, it's arrogant, but sometimes you got to be a little arrogant, a little selfish in this sport. It's an individual sport, you know. You got to go get the best partner. You got to go. You got to think like that. And so I always thought it was my place. There's definitely been some great wrestlers before, but I kind of adopted it.
You said it's all right. It's Jack's house. I always loved after you won. You always just did. You have a favorite? Was there a favorite moment or a favorite match there that kind of stands out?
This one was really awesome. I got the tech against NC State. The pin against UNC my sophomore year was pretty fun. Trying to think of which one it was just like a big, felt really good. Um, I mean, I think this was one of my first ones back my junior year, and I felt really good. So maybe the first one. Now that I'm looking at long hair, me, that one's a good. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the hair.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I was in my own little world. I don't know what I was doing. It was long. I haven't seen this picture before, honestly. But yeah, you know, I think the first and the last one will always stand out for me. So the first one I think was against Maryland, and I got a quick tech, and that was like at the time where I had Garland and at the time it was Lean telling me, "Yeah, you're gonna win it this year. You know, you're gonna win it." And I was freaking on top of the world. I was kind of in my own little world, like I said. Kind of bit me in the butt later on when my ankle gave out, but definitely that first year I was on fire.
Now, I'm not. I know nothing about the sport of wrestling. I'll be honest. My wrestling knowledge is not great, but this is one of my favorite photos right here, just because he looks like he's just in sheer agony.
Yeah. So what happened in this match was I was only up by 1 or 2 going into the third period. And I think this was the match where I dropped about 12 points in about a minute. I took him down to his back. I turned him, and then I turned him again and got the tech fall all within like a minute, 30 seconds. It was crazy. And like this picture is one of my favorite because although I want to be like a nice guy off the mat, you know, a high character guy, whatever, on the mat I want to hurt you bad. Like part of me is like, I'm cutting 15, 20, 25 pounds to make the weight. Like someone's got to pay for me doing this. Like I'm giving my entire life. Like I want to put someone in pain because of all the pain I'm going through. And so this was kind of like a nice feeling for sure.
I mean, this photo, like, I mean, how much does some of this stuff hurt? Like,
Um,
this looks
it didn't
painful to
hurt
me.
that bad. No, this is fine. I'm comfortable here. So this is kind of, especially first year we didn't have the danger rule where it wasn't a threat to be on your back. So this is a place where I was comfortable. I could roll through, be relaxed, and I definitely gotten a lot better here because of Garland. Garland's really good here, and he's helped me out. Um, but yeah, like it doesn't hurt that bad. There's a few times where my neck's been jacked up, but this wasn't it.
Now, did you have a go-to celebration, or just kind of let it happen?
So this year, this was sophomore year when I was up at 33, and my walkout song was Kung Fu Fighting, and so I wanted to do like a Kung Fu stance after this match because that kid was ranked like third or fourth in the country, and I kind of should have gotten the major against him. I think that was the one time I didn't get a major in them, but yeah, that's what I was thinking. Kung Fu
Now I got to
Fighting.
ask about this too. Like, what was going on with the stash here?
So every February, the season gets dull, gets long. I mean, I feel like it's one of the longer seasons. You start in November and you end at the end of March. It's 5 seasons or 5 months long. And for this time, I just wanted to switch it up. So every duel in February, I'd shave everything except the stash. And, this was junior year. So this was one of the times where it was actually decent. So I was curling it up. you know.
Uh, you talked about how Garland got you better. Just talk about the grind, the training, and all that kind of goes into it. I mean, for the commoner like me, we don't really know what all that you guys go through to cut weight. I mean, I've been to some of those practices, and it looks intense. Just kind of take me
Yeah.
through some of that.
So regular week for me in the middle of the season, it would be um Sunday I would take off, and then Monday I would lift, run, and then wrestle all on the same day. Tuesday I would do the exact same thing. Wednesday I would go to yoga and then I would wrestle. So I'd go hot yoga for an hour and a half and then wrestle. Thursday I would run in the morning, about like 3 miles of sprints, and then I would wrestle in the afternoon. And the wrestling in the afternoon, it's an hour of full sweats. So I'd wear like tights or like leggings, like a full body suit pretty much of like Under Armour, because you can't wear like a sauna suit in college, which actually helps a lot because it just gets all the water weight out. But I would wear full sweats, full Under Armour suit, and then we would just go as hard as we could, moving, sprinting, beating each other's heads, whatever, all day Thursday. And then I would stay and run and bike after, and I'd lose about 5 to 7 pounds in that one practice. And then Friday, I would get up in the morning and I would run. I'd elliptical, run, and then bike, get off like 2 or 3 pounds, and then I'd be 1 pound over maybe, if it was a night duel, if it was a Friday night duel. And I would lose that right before as my warm up, and then have an hour to fuel up and then wrestle. So I'm losing 13 to 15 pounds every week during the season.
Wow.
And it's like, honestly, those January to February like months, I'm pretty much the rest of the semester I'm making up for the classes, because when you're losing all this weight, like I wasn't expecting myself to do well in class. I'm freaking Thursdays. I'm a raisin. My brain is a raisin. I'm just sitting there like just dead. I just wanted to go home and take a nap. And so, my school definitely suffered all 4 years because of the weight I was losing. It's just an aspect of sports that you don't see in anything else, because I'm dehydrating myself every week, losing 15 pounds. This absurd to ask for someone and then go out and do the rigorous academics that UVA offers. It's crazy. And so I think it's definitely an overlooked aspect of this, of like our student athlete experience, because it's definitely, I'm putting in 20 hours of work a week plus losing 15 pounds and then doing another 20 hours of school, or at least trying to. It's just not possible, but whatever. You got it's like economics, you give and take.
It's like you look in the background of that photo, there are pillars of the program: focus, discipline, consistency. That sounds like what you've just described right there. So
Yeah,
just kind of talk
100%.
about the kind of your legacy. I mean, this is the old wrestling room, this is Honesty Hall, but just like being up on the wall in there and just kind of what you've done and accomplished.
Yeah, I feel like if I didn't get hurt freshman year, or if I, wrestled a little better junior year, I could be a 2-time national champ. If I wrestled this year, maybe a 3-timer. Like, I think my legacy isn't based on accolades. Um, I think it's based on, living the right life outside. And I don't think it's my legacy. I think it's a legacy that George D. Camillo built, and I piggybacked off of it. And I think it's something that JIL is going to build off of, because he's a great leader. And then who knows who's going to step up next? But it's something that isn't just about like being an individual, and kind of like at times I would lock myself away from everyone and try and just focus on me. Um, but it was something that was inclusive of everyone, try and get everyone together for different things. We do this thing called Ironman at the beginning of the year, where we play a bunch of different sports, get on teams, and do different things like that. We have Christmas parties, Thanksgiving parties, just trying to get everyone together and just trying to truly get brotherhood, because every team says they're a family, and that's like one of the recruitment things. But man, like that was our true goal. I remember my first year, George was a fifth year, and that house was truly an open door. Um, Whenever you had a problem, you go to him. You go to any of those fifth years, Chris Yankovic. Those guys left a legacy that we try to build off of. You know, we try to get away from different scenes that weren't great and really just try and build off of each other. And you know, there's never going to be a perfect team, perfect family, but um, you know, you strive for it. You come up short, but sure, you're close.
That's one thing I've always, like you've said about wrestling from George G. Camillo, or even, before that, just different guys that have gone through the program and just kind of that family aspect. And I mean, just post UVA, like looking at what guys have gone on to do and just kind of it's very cool to see. Just kind of talk a little bit more about that family and the team and just how you guys all bond together.
Yeah, I mean, when you run help back up 3 times in one workout, you know, it's hard to not like everyone who's sacrificing so much for you. You know, um, it's not about yourself. Everyone's making sacrifices for each other, and I think that's what really brings us together. I'm looking at this photo and I see Chance McClure kind of right in the middle there in the top row, a little to the left. He's getting married this weekend, and a few of us are driving down and gonna go, you know, celebrate him. And I'm really excited to see some of these guys like Will Shaney and Jack Walsh and Tyler Love, and Jay and I are driving down. Michael Murphy's going to be there. You know, a lot of these guys are going to go that were a part of his era, and you know, it's something that we're going to just get together, and it's going to be like old times, I think, and I'm excited for that for sure.
Now, this is in Mim, and I showed honesty. Did you have a preference? Did you like one better than the other?
Honesty got a little hotter, which was nice. But Mim had access to different, um, I'll just say, to different things that wrestlers could use. And I won't go into detail on that, but
Okay.
nice. And I appreciated it a little bit more than honesty for sure.
As somebody who spent a lot of time in Honesty Hall, it was some of the sounds and the smells coming out of the wrestling room were
It was a little old for sure. It was a little old. I think that this was cool when they did all the graphics. Definitely changed it up a little bit from the white walls. Those were rough. Felt like we were in a dungeon for sure.
yeah. So
Um,
when I started back in 2006, and my office was like where Garland's office was. Like that was the media relations office before
mm,
we moved to JPJ. So like when they would have practice, like it was just like so loud in there. I was like, luckily I only worked there for like 3 weeks before we moved to JPJ. I'm like, how did anybody get any work done in here? But yeah,
yeah, no, I know what you mean.
this one was in Honesty Hall. This is a good shoot. What are these guys thinking here behind you?
What the heck is he doing? I think that this was right after McGregor did it, and I was like, I've got to do it. I got to do it. You know, when he does the weigh-ins and he cuts a ton of weight, and he's just like, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. That's how I felt. You know, I was super excited about this season. Um, yeah, so that's what I was doing. Grievous is like, what is he doing?
Uh, we'll go
uh,
through some of the photo shoots here. You talked about Jay. Just talk a little bit about Jay here. I mean, obviously, this is he looks a little big here.
yeah, no, he's huge too. So when I would cut weight, he was cutting about the same amount I was. So we suffered a lot together, and we're roommates, and we really got close this year because we kind of did the same thing. Iron sharpens iron, you know. When I would run, he would run. When I would do extra, he would do extra, sort of thing. And you know, I think that he's going to do really well next year, and I'm excited to see it. But when you talk about a hard worker, you got to think JILO. And I think we really got close this year, just because we were on the same mission. And I hope he brings someone with him next year, um, the way I kind of brought him along.
Now I know you guys different
And that
weight
sounds arrogant,
classes.
but he'll admit the same thing. Yeah.
Now, if you two were to have a match, I mean, who would win? Does
Oh, if I
the
was his
size
size, I'd
matter?
beat his butt. Yeah, he's too big. He'd kill me. But if I was his size, he knows that I would smoke him. He
All right,
wouldn't want the smoke.
let's talk a little bit about photo shoots. What were your thoughts of photo shoots? Did you like them? Did you not like them? Challenging?
Um, they were fun. I really enjoyed them, especially because we didn't really do one first year. So second year I ate them all up, and I just kind of appreciated them for that. And so, it was cool to blow up my Instagram or Twitter with them and have them for the future. Um, but like the one with Jay was really fun when we were doing the poster one. I just remember being in there and laughing the whole time and having a blast because we knew that it was going to be a big year for both of us. And he obviously had this awesome year where he was an ACC champ and kind of broke through. And we were both, I mean, I was the 4 seed, he was the 7 seed. And I think that we were in good spots to do really well at nationals.
Yeah, here's just a couple more. It's there's only so many poses you can do. That's kind of the thing. So,
Yeah, definitely.
uh, let's see here. Let's go. Let's move on. Where was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, this was. I was going to ask you just about the leg sleeve. Is there a story behind it, or?
Well, so it was kind of weird. Robbie Patrick and Justin McCoy were like going to get one. And I was sitting in and I was redshirting at the time. And I was like, you know, I'm interested, but like, I'm not going to wrestle for a year. And they're like, no, get one. You got to get one. We're going to get one. It'll be cool. I was like, oh, all right, I'll do it. And then redshirt gets pulled. And I was like, let's add a little bit of swag to my game. And I rocked the leg sleeve for a year, and then it kind of got old, and I wrestled someone my senior year, and it was like making me slip, and I was like, "F this! I'm taking this off, and going back to bare. I don't even care if I have no swag at all." But yeah, it was pretty sweet. I like that the Cavalier logo, that one.
Yeah, that's old school right there. What
Yeah,
about what was going
yeah,
on
it
here?
was good.
I'm not sure what's happening here, but
I think I was going for like a Thor look there, like bringing the hammer down sort of thing.
yeah, definitely.
You just
All right,
got to do
let's
whatever you
go.
got to do.
All right, this is a multiple exposure in camera. Kind of
Hmm.
like this shot. You're all American, obviously, so I tried to throw all the elements in. V saber, the flag, and you obviously. Um, but I didn't have many. Like I said, some of your matches go pretty quick, so I didn't have a lot of time to play around. So this was right as you're walking out before your match started, I think, and was able to get that. Thought it was a pretty cool
Yeah.
shot. So
No, I like it. I like the edit. I think this was before UNC, my last match in Mim, and it's like part of me's like just ready to go. I was focused, and he was kind of a scrambly guy, and I shut it down quick and got to my stuff. So,
just
like I
kind of,
said, chess.
I was let's like you said, your season was abruptly cut short. I mean, how did you go through processing that? And were you definitely going to win it this year?
I like to think so. I had a really rough time at ACCs, but I got food poisoning 3 days out, and I control what you can control, and I kind of was not focused in the match, and I got upset in the finals, and that's my last college match. This is my worst one in my career, and so I don't know. I don't know if I'd have won it, but I can tell you this is the 4 days after ACCs. I think were the best 4 days of practice of my college career. I felt really locked in, and I felt like for one of the first times in my life, I was kind of being more humble than usual. And sometimes I get super prideful, and I was listening more than anything to Garland, to Travis, to Trent, and um, I was only 128 whenever it was a week out, and that would have been the lightest I've ever been. And so I'd have felt really good going into nationals. I had a really good practice against Trent, and I was locked in. And I was ready. I was ready for my last run. And I would have hit Spencer, the guy that beat me in the national finals in the semis, and who knows? I think that I would have beaten him. Honestly, I think that this would have been my year. But I can say that and be upset about it, but I can't control that. And I'm very happy with my career. And although the accolades weren't what I wanted, I don't. If I went anywhere else, I want to be the man who I am today, and that's because of UVA. That's because of Virginia wrestling in particular. I wouldn't want to be a part of a different program ever. These guys, they sacrificed a lot for me, and it's gonna be hard to leave them in the next coming weeks. But maybe one day I'll be back, and yeah.
All right, we got two more here. Here's your senior day shot. Just kind of talk a little bit about what these people mean to you and how they shaped you.
Yeah, so I mean, I've talked about the coaches a lot. I haven't really talked about Trent, but Trent, um, other than Garland, I think he believes in me the most, out of anyone I've ever met. And I think that's a really cool aspect. He's always been super complimentary and really, really plays to my strengths. I mean, Garland's always been like, "You're the best guy I've ever coached, Jack. You're the best guy I've ever coached." And he's coached national champs, so I feel like he's blowing smoke a little bit. But Trent's not the guy to blow smoke. So when he says that I'm really good, I really believe it. No offense to Garland, but it's hard for me to believe it when he's coached some of the guys he's coached. But my mom, when I grew up, she drove me an hour to practice and an hour back every day for 5 days a week for 8 or 9 years, when I was 3 to when I was 12. And then I dislocated my hip and we went to someplace closer. But she sacrificed everything for me, especially in wrestling. She gave up her day job so I could compete. And would be nowhere without her, and I'd be nowhere without my dad either. I mean, he sacrificed so much to get me to UVA, to get me to different tournaments across the country, whether it be spending money or looking out and trying to find the best coaches for me. And like they gave up everything so I could be great. And I'm so forever grateful. I'll never be able to repay it. But whenever I always took wrestling as my own, in terms of I would never want to win for anyone, or I would never want to compete for anyone other than myself, because if I do that, then I'll be bitter towards someone if it doesn't go my way. But when I won or whatever, like I took the sport as my own, but I never wanted to be alone in victory or in loss. So there's kind of a gray area in there. Probably confusing you a little bit, but without them, I was nowhere. I want to be here. I want to be a 3-time All-American. I want to be gonna have this opportunity to train for the Olympics. I would. I don't even know. I have no idea. I want to be an athlete. That's for sure. So, I'm forever grateful. And yeah.
All right, let's see. Let me finish up here. I always have everybody on the last one just kind of give your recruiting pitch about UVA. You've kind of talked a little bit about it, but just how it shaped you. Just kind of give your recruiting pitch for coming to the University of Virginia.
I would say if you really want to go to some place where you're going to have an extra, like another family or someone that you can trust for the rest of your life, like Steve Garland, Trent Paulson, and Travis Paulson are the highest character guys in the game. And not only that, like there's so many leaders, so many natural leaders like J.I.L.O. and then Justin McCoy, Robbie Patrick, Vic Marcelli, these guys who are going to step up, Jake Keating, Quinn Miller, Denton Spencer, all these guys that I can mention that are a part of our team. They're there because they love the sport. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be the man I am today without the coaching staff, without the team that I've had. backing me up, helping me become the man I am today. So UVA is the place to be if if you love wrestling and you want to grow in the sport, but also grow in your personal life, grow as a human being, because there's so many places that are going to make you great at wrestling, and there are some amazing dynasties that you can go and be a part of, but there's no place like UVA that's going to truly form you into the best human being you can possibly be. And I think Virginia wrestling will shape you into a really, really good person. And yeah, that's what I mean. If you care about that, then you should definitely consider UVA.
Well, this has been great, and I have no doubt that you're going to be successful in whatever you do. And I certainly hope we see you on the stage at the Olympics. That would be phenomenal. So can't wait to follow your
Yeah,
journey.
thanks.
So
Thank you. That means a lot.
you got anything else to add? You have a favorite photo? Anything?
Favorite photo is definitely the UVA Virginia Tech one. I mean, I know that video came out that said "Don't say F Tech" in the fight song, but I was probably doing it there. I don't really remember. I blacked out for a second. Sorry, Dr. Williams, and everyone that was a part of that video. But yeah, I got a dark side right there. So that was
I
let
really
it out a
wish the
little.
ref wasn't right there. Like, come on, man, get out of the way. But
Yeah, I mean he's kind of out of the way, but yeah, no, I'm screaming in his face there for sure.
yeah, still a great shot. Yeah, I still one of my favorite ones of you when you're coming up to your girlfriend though after the field hockey match. That was a good one too. But
That was a great picture. I was so happy for her, and we kind of shared this journey. She made the Final Four, and um, she was so nervous before being a senior, and having that journey with her was unmatched. I think that was one of my favorite moments as a student. As a fan, watching them compete. All those girls were amazing, and some of them are really good friends of mine. So not just Colleen, but all of them, everyone that's in my class and the classes below. Like there's such good people. So I was so happy for them as well.
yeah, I think that's one of the best. That's one of the things I like about UVA. It seems like all those student athletes kind of support one another, and that's really cool to see people at soccer
Yeah,
matches or wrestling matches, and just so it's kind of cool. One big
yeah, for
family.
sure.
So,
Yeah, definitely.
but yeah, this has been fun. I've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah. So I think you're going to run next Friday, I believe. We'll put you out. So,
Okay, thanks.
all
That'd be
right.
awesome.
Well, thanks again.
Will it just be on Instagram or?
It'll be on
Oh,
Instagram, but
oh, sorry.
I'll post it on Twitter too.
Okay.
It'll just be on the Virginia Sports. But I'll post it on my Twitter, so you can retweet from there.
All right.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, and good luck to you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, take care.